Hey, church. So we're coming to you from outside because it's a beautiful day in Richmond right now as we're filming. But I want to tell you about what's coming up this Sunday. It's the third Sunday of Easter. And remember, Easter is not just one day, one Sunday. It's a season that carries us 50 days forward to Pentecost. And so for this third Sunday of Easter, we are going to look at one of my favorite stories in the Bible. I've got a lot of favorites, but this really is one of them. So we're going to turn to Luke's telling of what happens on that first Easter Sunday. You see, there's these two disciples. They are there on that first Easter Sunday. They're kind of caught up in the confusion about Jesus' tomb is empty and what does it all mean, and they're not quite sure. They're still kind of stricken with grief, with confusion, with doubt, and so they just decide, I'm going to leave town altogether. I'm getting out of Jerusalem. Yeah, so FYI, last week we looked at the story of doubting Thomas. Not the only disciple who doubted, all right? These two also doubted. There's a lot of doubt going on. Thomas gets a bad rap. Anyways, so these two disciples, in the midst of their grief and their doubt, they leave town. And as they're trying to process everything, a stranger shows up to them and begins to talk with them. And then the most sacred, holy surprise happens as they make their way to this town called Emmaus. Well, the reason I'm bringing up this story is because even though we're in a different gospel with a completely different story than what we looked at last week with Thomas, the central message is the same. The theme is the same. The centering element of these two stories last week and this Sunday, it's not the doubt of the disciples. It is the consistent, persistent presence of the risen Christ. So the spotlight's being shined on the same thing. The centerpiece is this new Easter reality in which Jesus continues to show up. It's shining a light on the very character of God, which is a showing up kind of God. Or as we might have put it back in Advent, Emmanuel, the very core of who God is, and the very core of who Jesus reveals God to be is Emmanuel, God with us. And not even a cross, not even the tomb itself, can separate God from us. God continues to be Emmanuel. So let's dive into that story and that Easter reality again this Sunday. We'll see you in church. Well, here at First Christian Church, we know that one of the two greatest commandments is to love your neighbor as yourself, right? The first to love God with all of your being, and the second to love your neighbor as yourself. And I'm really excited to introduce you to one of our new neighbors here. This is Duchess, who just moved here from Estill County. Well, hello, Duchess. Hey, let me ask you, Duchess, how are you liking it here in Richmond so far? Good. Okay, I think that's a positive. We're so excited to have you as a neighbor here at First Christian, close by with Chris and Brooke. Let me ask, how have you been experiencing the love from neighbors so far? She's been giving a lot of love, that is for sure. Well, Duchess, I want you to know that on behalf of First Christian, we are glad to have you as a neighbor. We look forward to getting to know you. Do you have anything you'd like to say? We're reporting to you live from the First Christian parking lot with our new neighbor, Duchess.